book is called Horton Hears a Who. And this is Horton. Horton is the elephant. It's a book written by Dr. Seuss. On the 15th of May, in the jungle of Nul, in the heat of the day, in the cool of the pool, he was splashing, enjoying the jungle's great joys, when Horton the elephant heard a small noise. So Horton stopped splashing. He looked toward the sound. "That's funny," thought Horton. "There is no one around." Then he heard it again, just a very faint yelp, as if some tiny person were calling for help. "I'll help you," said Horton. Is that Horton talking? "I'll help you," said Horton. Horton is an elephant. "But who are you? Where?" He looked and he looked. He could see nothing there but a small speck of dust blowing past through the air. "I said," murmured Horton, "I've never heard tell of a small speck of dust that is able to yell. So you know what I think. Why, I think that there must be someone on top of that small speck of dust. Some sort of a creature of very small size, too small to be seen by an elephant's eyes. Some poor little person who's shaking with fear that he'll blow in the pool. He has no way to steer. I'll just have to save him, because, after all, a person's a person, no matter how small." So, gently and using the greatest of care, the elephant stretched his great trunk through the air, and he lifted the dust speck and carried it over and placed it down safe on a very soft clover. "Humph!" humphed a voice. 'Twas a sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said "Humph!" too. "Why, that speck is as small as the head of a pin. A person on that? Why, there never has been." "Believe me," said Horton, "I'll tell you sincerely, my ears are quite keen, and I heard him quite clearly. I know there is a person down there. And what's more, quite likely there is two, even three, even four, quite likely a family, for all that we know. A family with children just starting to grow. So please, Horton said, as a favor to me, try not to disturb them. Just please let them be. I think you are a fool, laughed the sour kangaroo. And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, Me too. You are the biggest blame fool in the jungle of Nool. And the kangaroos plunged in the cool of the pool. What terrible splashing! The elephant frowned. I can't let my very small persons get drowned. I got to protect them. I'm bigger than they. So he plucked up the clover and hustled away. Through the high jungle treetops, the news quickly spread. He talks to a dust speck. He's out of his head. Just look at him walk with that speck on that flower. And Horton walked worrying almost an hour. Should I put this speck down? Horton thought with alarm. If I do, these small persons might come to great harm. I can't put it down, and I want, after all, a person's a person, no matter how small. Then Horton stopped walking. The speck voice was talking. The voice was so faint he could just barely hear it. Speak us back, please, said Horton. He put his ear near it. And the voice said, My friend, came the voice, you are a very fine friend. You have helped all of us folks on this dust speck no end. You saved all our houses, our ceilings and floors. You've saved all our churches and grocery stores. That's the inner word of the little people that are talking to her. You mean, Horton gasped, you have building there too? Oh, yes, piped the voice, we most certainly do. I know, called the voice, I'm too small to be seen, but I'm mayor of a town that is friendly and clean. Our buildings to you will seem terribly small, but to us who aren't big, they are wonderful tall. My town is called Whoville, for I am a Who, and we Whos are all thankful and grateful to you. And Horton called back to the mayor of the town. You are safe now. Don't worry. I won't let you down. But just as he spoke to the mayor of the speck, 3 big jungle monkeys climbed up Horton's neck. The Wickersham brothers came shouting, What rot! These elephants talking to who are not. There aren't any whos, and they don't have a mayor. And we are going to stop all this nonsense. So there. They snatched Horton's clover. They carried it off to a black-bottomed eagle named Bloody Cough, a mighty, strong eagle of very swift wing. And they say, "Will you kindly get rid of this thing?" And before the poor elephant even could speak, that eagle flew off with the flower in his beak. All that late afternoon and far into the night, that black-bottomed bird flapped his wings in fast flight, while Horton chased after with groans over stones that tattered his toenails and battered his bones, and begged, "Please, don't harm all my little folks who have as much right to live as us bigger folks do." But far, far beyond him, that eagle kept flapping, and over his shoulders called back, "Quit your yapping! I'll fly the night through. I'm a bird. I don't mind it. And I'll hide this tomorrow where you'll never find it." Mm. And at 6:56 the next morning he did it. It sure was a terrible place that he hid it. He let that small clover drop somewhere inside of a great patch of clovers 100 miles wide. "Fine, Dad," sneered the bird. "But I think you'll fail." And he laughed with a flip of his black-bottomed tail. "I'll find it," cried Horton. "I'll find it or burst. I shall find my friends on my smallest speck of dust." And clover by clover by clover with care, he picked up and searched them and called, "Are you there?" But clover by clover by clover he found that the one that he sought for was just not around. And by noon poor old Horton, more dead than alive, had picked, searched, and piled up 9,005. Then, on through the afternoon, hour after hour, till he found them at last, on the 3,000,000th flower. "My friends," cried the elephant, "tell me, do tell, are you safe? Are you sound? Are you whole? Are you well?" From down on the speck came the voice of the major. "We have really had trouble, much more than our share. When that black-bottomed berry let go and we dropped, We landed so hard that our clocks have all stopped. Our teapots are broken. Our rocking chairs smashed. And our bicycle tires all blew up when we crashed. So Horton, please, pleaded that voice of the major, will you stick by us whose while we are making repairs? Of course, Horton answered. Of course, I will stick. I'll stick by you, a small fox, through thin and through thick. Humph, humphed the voice. For almost 2 days you've ran wild and insisted on chatting with persons who've never existed. Such carrying on in our peaceable jungle, we've had quiet enough of your bellowing bungle. And I'm here to state, snapped the big kangaroo, that your silly nonsensical game is all true. And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, Me too. With the help of the Wickersham brothers and dozens of Wickersham uncles and Wickersham cousins and Wickersham in-laws, whose help I've engaged, you are going to be robbed, and you're going to be caged. And as for your dust speck, that we shall boil in a hot steaming kettle of bezel nut oil. Boil it, gasped Horton. Oh, that you can't do. It's all full of persons. They'll prove it to you. Mr. Major, Horton called. Mr. Major, you've got to prove now that you really are there. So call a big meeting. Get everyone out. Make every who holler. Make every who shout. Make every who scream. If you don't, every who is going to end up in a bezel nut stew. And down on the dust speck, the scared little major quick called a big meeting in Whoville Town Square, and his people cried loudly. They cried out in fear, We are here! We are here! We are here! We are here! The elephant smiled. That was clear as a bell. You kangaroos surely heard that very well. All I heard, snapped the big kangaroo, was the breeze and the faint sound of wind through the fair distant trees. I heard no small voices. I heard no small voices, and you didn't either. And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, Me neither. Grab him, they shouted, and cage the big dog. Lasso his stomach with 10 miles of rope.